everyone, welcome to my channel Hacker Factory. When we talk about any security testing, or if you guys are in a security testing field and you have a task to perform security testing or penetration testing on network devices or a network or server, then there is always a name that is nmap or a network mapper. In this session, I'm going to start with nmap tool and what we can do with nmap, what are the things or what are the switches through which we can identify information in through nmap. So here you guys can see on my screen, nmap is basically a powerful tool which is used for vulnerability scanning and network discovery. This tool is open source and it's a command line tool. You can use it in your Kali Linux. It's by default in the Kali Linux. Through nmap you guys can perform multiple things. You can see on my screen here some of the features through which you can through nmap you can identify information, like you can perform port scanning, right? You can scan a target, you can identify what are the ports open on that target, what are the services and what are the version running on those services, right? You guys can perform OS operating system detection as well. You can identify which operating system is running on the target, and you can also use host discovery. There are a lot of script, that is NSE script, which is an nmap scripting engine. Uh, in nmap scripting engine, there are more than 350 scripts through which you guys can identify information, and there are a lot of powerful scripts as well, right? There are scripts like brute force script, right? You can perform DOS, you can identify vulnerabilities on the basis of CV, right? CVSS. So you can also use the script to identify more information. You can find, you can scan multiple hosts through nmap. There are different switches which will help you to scan multiple hosts and identify the information. You can audit the device security, like any firewall security, right? You can perform the testing on these devices as well. So these are some of the features, important features through which you can identify, or through on which you can get the information through nmap. So, and these are some of the useful switches which will help you to identify information, like SV is there, version detection, -p, you can identify any port number, right? And verbosity is basically it will help you to expand the information, right? And PN is hyphen capital P small, and that is this is which is belongs to no ping, right? And hyphen P hyphen, you can perform full port scan, right? So we will discuss all these switches when we start with practically to perform nmap, to perform testing through nmap, right? So nmap is basically developed by Gordon Leon, and this is written in Lua language. So let's go to my Kali Linux. Here in the Kali Linux, you guys can open the terminal and you can just write here nmap and hit enter. So when you see this response, these are the commands, or we can say switches, which will help us to identify the information through nmap. Like there is il, so il is basically a input from list of hosts. So it means you can scan a multiple host. You have to just enter the list of host in a file, and you can scan all those on those all those lists through this il switch, right? And we have these scan techniques as well. You guys can even see there is ss, right? st, sa, sw. So these are the working of these switches are different. You can also see the help of or manual of these switches. Then we have su, this is for the udp scan. If you guys need to know about the udp port number, then you have to use this switch -su, right? This is basically udp scan. And when you scan any target through nmap, it by default it scan your tcp port, right? For udp you can use su. And then we have another switches, like if you want to scan any port, then you can use -p. Or if you guys need to scan full port, there are 65535 port number. You can also scan these ports by using the switch -p hyphen, or you can put the range like -p 1 dash 65535, right? And then we have also a switch like -s capital V. This one is also one of the popular switch which is used for the version detection. So version detection means when you scan any target through nmap, it gives you the result like this port is open. The port number, like we have ftp data 20 port, right? It is open, and this what is the version running on this port number. So you can identify uh, the version through this command hyphen small s capital V. Then we have a script scan hyphen s capital C, right? This will help you to run default script. For example, if you want to scan a target on port number 445, right? Then you can also use hyphen small s capital C. What way it will do, it will identify, or it will scan for the default script which will run on port 445, right? Or there is another thing that is hyphen script. You can use any particular script. For example, I want to perform ftp bounce attack, then you can use the script like hyphen script ftp dash bounce dot nsc, right? This is the trick to use this script. And then we have os detection, right? If you guys need want to know about the operating system of the target, then you can use hyphen o. And there are a lot of switches. Hyphen f for sorry, hyphen f is there, right? Hyphen hyphen m tu, that is maximum transmission unit. You in this case you guys can use for the fragmentation, right? It is kind of packet crafting, but you cannot do proper packet crafting through this tool nmap. But there are some switches that will help you to craft or to send a packet to on a target, right? And then we have a decoy scan. You can also use this decoy. This is also one of the a popular scan. You can use this scan as well uh, to make full of firewall, right? So it will help you in that case. And you can also even spoof the IP address, or you can spoof the MAC address. For spoofing IP address, you had hyphen capital S, right? You can spoof your source address. And then you can, if you want to use any source port, then you can use hyphen small g, right? And here you can see the output methods. So when you scan any target, you have to also take the output of that target, right? For that you can use these switches like hyphen on hyphen ox hyphen os hyphen og, right? So you can use this switch to to get the output of an target. And hyphen oa, for this you guys can use the switch, and you can identify information in all the formats, right? These all formats, it will give you the information in all these three formats, right? And there is the one powerful switch, that is hyphen capital A. So this is basically a aggressive scan. So in this case, in aggressive scan, there are by default there are four switches. It means when you scan any target, there are four switches, like it enable your os detection, version detection. It also scans script on basis of the port numbers, right? It also perform trace route. So these four things are in a single switch, that is hyphen capital A. Okay, so let's start with a scanning part. For example, I need to check is my host is up or not. For that case, what I can do, I can use nmap. First of all, I have to check my IP address. This is 1.72 and my target IP address is, let me check, 192.168.1.169. It's up, and through nmap we can check its reachability by using the switch hyphen small s capital, sorry, small s small n. This is sn, and you can write your target name. So here you guys can see its MAC address, and here you can also see the host is up, one IP address scanned and one host up. It means my target is up and we can perform scanning on this target, right? But sometimes what happened that target disable your reachability. So for that you guys can use hyphen capital P small n, this switch, right? Let me start with scanning. You can use nmap hyphen small s capital V hyphen V. V is basically for the verbosity. There are three level of verbosity, 1, 2, 3, right? You can use any. I need more information, then I can use hyphen V3 and hyphen P. I want to check that my port 25 is open or not, then I can use hyphen P 25 and the target name 192.168.1.69 and hit enter, right? Now when I use verbosity, then it will show the results like this. Here you guys can see if I use a hyphen V3 switch or hyphen V, then it will give you the results like this. It will first it will show you the port number, that the port number is opened or not, right? And then it will give you the accurate result. Here you guys can see the port 25 is TCP, state is open, and service is SMTP. Reason is that SYNAC, it means the communication happens in this port, and the version that the port is using, sorry, the service version is postfix SMTPD, right? So this way you guys can identify the the port is open or not, or what kind of version is running on that port. And again I going to this same command and I'm removing hyphen v3. Let me show you the result now. So you guys can see on my screen here, I didn't get any extra information. I just see that the port 25 is open and all this information like version, service. I am not able to see any reason state is there, right? So that's why we can use hyphen v3 as well as to identify the information. So by default, when you scan any target through nmap, it will scan 1000 port, that is well-known port, right? So if I will not put any port number here and I just hit enter, if you again hit enter or any key, then it will show you how much percent our scan happened. Here you guys can see it's 86.96% our scan is done. Again wait for some seconds, and here you guys can see the result. These are the port, these are the services and the version running on these services. Here you guys can see all those information in by through just a single command, right? So if you guys need to scan full port, then you can just use hyphen p hyphen, right? Or you guys can use hyphen p 1 dash 655 35, right? Or you can just write here hyphen p hyphen. So it will scan all your 65,535 port, right? You can just see the information as well by using hyphen v3. So it's starting again. You can just hit enter to check how much percent is done. So here 0.0. So here you guys can see. So this information you guys can only see when you use verbosity switch, right? So these are the ports, and it is performing the full port scan. And here you can see the 30 services are open. Let me stop this. Now again clear this one. If you guys are not able to find out any port, or you see that the host is not up or zero host up, then you guys can use this switch as well, hyphen capital P small n, right? So it will through this switch you can you can able to see the port number, services and version, that what is the services running on the target, right? So for example, you have to perform a scanning on multiple hosts. So for that, what you guys can do, you have to just create a list. So for that, what I can do, I can use a list like scan target, and here I can put my target details 192.168.1.69, right? Like 69 is there, again 68 is there, 72 is there, right? So this way, you for example, you have a 10, 50, 100 targets are there for scanning, then you can just create a list. And what you guys can use, you can use nmap hyphen small I capital L, and put that list here, scan target, and the switch hyphen small s capital V hyphen v3, and hit enter, right? So so it's going to start the scan. Here you guys can, it is scanning two hosts because it is able to identify only two hosts are up. So that's why scan is starting on the two hosts only, right? So this way you guys can perform a multiple scan. Sorry, you guys can perform a scan on multiple hosts. Okay. Now again, if you want to perform aggressive scanning, right, then you can just use a switch that is hyphen capital A. In this case, again you can use here hyphen capital A, right? So what it will do, it will perform a version detection, OS detection, right? Or it will also enable some of the script and trace route. If I just hit enter, I can also use hyphen v3 for this. Let me show you the results. Okay, it's completed the sin stealth scan. Port 25 is open. Now it start initiating OS detection, right? NSE scripts are running now. And you guys can check even by using hit any of the or any on the key, and it's 75% done. Yeah, so here is the result. Here you guys can see. So this one is the result, and let me start with the first one. For a through aggressive scan, it scan the version detection. So version is this one, right? And then it scan for the scripts. So by default, you guys can see the script NSE script. It has identified this information through script, and then we it will also perform the OS detection. So you guys can also see the OS detection version, that what operating system is running on the target. So you can also see this one, and the fourth is that trace route, right? It will also perform trace route with aggressive scan. So this is the working of your aggressive scan. You can also use this scan to identify more information, right? And now if you guys take a output of this scan result, then you can just write here hyphens small o capital A and the path where you want to save this output. So you can just write output here, right? And I'm just removing hyphen capital A because it will take some time. So you can just write here hyphen sv and hit enter. Let's wait for the output. Let me go to my desktop. So here you guys can see, so this one is the output, right? So when you scan any target, or if you are performing any security testing on any of the target, then make sure you will take all the outputs, right? Because it will help you in future, right? So here you can see the output, right? You can also see the output in XML. So this way you guys can also take output, and you can if you want out only take an output, then you can use ox on, right? So there are multiple other switches for the output. The next is if you want to perform a tcp connect scan, then you can use switch hyphen small s capital T, right? It will also perform a tcp connect scan where a three-way handshake occurs, right? So you guys can also use tcp connect scan, and multiple switches are there which help you to identify the information basis on the switches. There are some timing scan options are there, t1 t2 t3 t4, right? You can also check all these switches as well. And hyphen capital F is there, that is for fast scan, right? And when we talk about these scripts, so for these scripts, first of all you have to know about the path. So let me show you the path, that is user share and map scripts, and hit enter. So these are the script NSE scripts, you guys can see, right? So for example, you need to check the script for smtp port 25, then you can just write here smtp, or you I think you have to write here grep, right? So grep is basically used to identify the particular information. So here you can see the scripts related to smtp. Now I want to use any script to identify information, then what I can do, nmap hyphen sv and your target name 192.168.1.69. Now you want to use the script, then you can just write hyphen script, and you can just take this one and paste. If you guys use multiple script, then you can just write, you can also take this script and you can paste it here like this, comma, right? Or you can also use hyphen script equal to, you can use this one as well, and you have to mention the port number as well. So I have mentioned this hyphen p 25. Now you guys can see the result of this script as well. So here I found the port is open and the script result is here, that this is the metasploitable dot broker domain, right? VRFI is enabled there. So these are basically commands. I will show you the exploitation or the vendor grabbing in my upcoming session. Those, it means that how you can perform scanning, sorry, how you can perform uh, next phase of testing on these ports, right? The open ports. So I also want to clear one thing. So when we talk about the port state, right? There are some port states. I'm just writing here on my screen. There are some port state like like we have a port state open. You guys are when I scan and target, you see the port is open, right? It means the port is open. There are other states also, like you sometimes you'll see the filtered state is there, unfiltered is there, right? Closed is there, open filtered is there, closed filtered is there. So filtered and unfiltered means so when you see any filtered port, right? For example, you scan and target and you found port 23 is filtered, then it means the port is behind any stateful firewall, right? And when you see the port is unfiltered, then it means the port is behind any stateless firewall, right? So this is the meaning of filtered and unfiltered. When you see this information, then definitely you should know about the port states, right? So these are the basic uses of nmap and how you can identify information through nmap, right? If you need more help related to nmap, then you can visit the website, that is scanme.nmap.org, or you guys can also use man and map, and here you can see all the list of the commands with their description, right? So you guys have to just go through some of the commands, like timing commands are there, like hyphen T1, T2, T3, T4, right? Hyphen capital F, and you can also go for some of the packet crafting commands, right? You can use hyphen MTU, hyphen data packets, right? So this way you guys can perform multiple things through nmap tool. And let me show you other things. So here on my screen I have complete these switches as well, and some other scanning tools like zenmap is basically a GUI tool, a GUI version of nmap, right? You can install it in your windows and you can use this tool. Let me show you what this zenmap, and here this one is the zenmap. You can just write a target name like 192.168.69, and it's already, the command is already mentioned in this zenmap tool. You can even change the profile. For example, sorry, for example, you need to perform any regular scan, right? Then you can click on this, it will automatically change your command path, and you can just click on scan, and it started. Now it started, right? So this way you guys can also perform scanning through zenmap, and you can use switches. You can also write here, even you want aggressive scan or any server version detection, right? So this is the use of zenmap tool, and there is a mass scan. So for mass scan, uh, basically when you guys are going to do any certifications like OSCP, so that time you can use the mass scan as well. So what happened in some of the machine, you are not able to identify information through nmap, so for that case you can use mass scan as well, right? And dmitry is also there. This one is also a tool used for some of the functionality like port scanning you can do with dmitry. DNS records you can check with the dmitry tool. Let me just show you one simple demo for mass scan. So you can just write here mass scan, and you guys can see its help. Here is the usage of mass scan. You can just write here mass scan hyphen p 80 and your target name 192.168.1.69. So here you can see the result that port 80 is open, right? So this way you can use the mass scan as well for the information. And there is, and then we have also dmitry. You can also use dmitry. You can check help for dmitry, right? And one thing that I missed to show you, you can perform UDP scan. So this one is also important thing, because when you perform any scanning on any target, then definitely there may be a UDP ports open. So for that you can use nmap hyphen small s capital U. This is a switch for UDP. So for UDP you don't need to scan all the UDP ports. You have to you have to just need some of popular ports like SNMP is there, right? DNS is there, right? So for that you guys can use hyphen top hyphen ports, and you can just write here 100 or 10 or anything, right? For example, I just need to know about 10 UDP ports, if are they open or not, and you can just write this one and your target 192.168.1.69, and you can also use hyphen sv and hit enter. Let's wait again. 66.67 is done. Or either again you guys can use hyphen v3 for more information. It will show automatically that the port is open or not uh, before the actual result. Again hit enter. Let's take some time. Let me use hyphen v3, and right here you guys can see it discovered the port 37. UDP is open, 53 is open, right? There are three services open, means there are three ports are open on this target, that is UDP ports. So this way you guys can identify the information related to the UDP ports. This is all about nmap scanning and how you can identify information through nmap. What are the switches you can use on the target to identify the information. So I think this is enough for you guys, and I hope you like my session. Thank you guys. Stay tuned for my upcoming session.